YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here today on NCAA 14, the Stanford Cardinals Online Dynasty, episode number 30, and this is our bye week, as we're going to give you guys a little look at what's going on here in the world of the Online Dynasty here with myself and two of my friends, Taylor and Steve. And as I think about it now, I need to get that podcast going. I need to get with it, but our schedules are so crazy, it's so hectic that it's hard to try to meet up with each other, at least on Discord and try to talk. I'm gonna try to get. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to get with him today and try to see if we can get a. It's such a snowy day here right now. This is of course recorded further in the future here. For where you guys are probably at this point here. By now, it's February 6th, but I've already put so many episodes already up ahead of this, or I don't know, in the future or whatever. I don't know, I forgot, but I do several of these videos in a row, back to back, and I put them up at the same time on the channel, but just stretch them out a couple of days, as this is just a Tuesday, Thursday type series. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying this series so far. It's been a lot of fun playing, and it's been a lot of fun trying to move players around and trying to figure out where they're best at. We had a tough run here starting off, as we had a quarterback that I was not really comfortable with to start off here, but I think for the most part here, I mean, he's worked out so far, and we're gonna just kind of ride him all the way to the end here. The only loss coming up this season, of course, was against Oregon. They're back in week 6, and by the looks of how Oregon's playing right now, I don't think that was a bad loss. I think it was just they got us good. They got us at the moment where our quarterback was really struggling, and they took advantage of that. And we'll see that here when we look at the look at the statistics here and the standings. But for the most part, I'm really enjoying guys like Mosley, Cronin, Harrison, Watson, and Gannon, East, and Shaw. That defense, I'm gonna miss that. A lot of those guys are, some of them, I think the majority of them are juniors. Hopefully they'll go early, because that would be a huge loss for us there defensively. But for the most part here, I've been really enjoying our defense. They've been really doing a great job. We've had just issues with our quarterback. We were not able to get the ball to Murphy that I want to, because there's been such good matchups with other teams and their corners with Murphy that it's just so hard to go down the field. And I'm not gonna force. Especially with this quarterback, I can't really force him to throw down the field because he is horrible throwing deep down the field. So I'm not going to do that. I don't do that in any of my series. I try my best to do what we can and do what's best. I know a lot of you guys, I know in the comment section, were saying that we're throwing too many slant routes, and that's what I can do. If I'm going to move the ball down the field, if I can't move it with him, with a quarterback that doesn't have a good arm that throws deep, I'm not going to do that. I mean, if we get by chance get a wide receiver that's happened, or tight end that's happened to be open, yeah, I'm going to throw down the field and I'm going to do what I can. But if he's covered pretty well, I'm just going to try to find a guy that's open, and especially under coverage. That's my best bet. But yeah, for the most part here, the stats could be better this season. But they are what they are, and we'll just try to do our best coming up here in this hopefully big Pac-12 game, Pac-12 Championship game that we'll be involved in, and we'll see who will play here in just a bit. But this is just ever since that loss there in week 6, we've just now picked up just momentum wise, and then of course these last 3 games, against USC, Cal, which was. Wow, I cannot believe Cal was that. I mean, it was a close game, but just the feel of them playing against them was like, wow, we should have beat you guys last year, but you guys got us forced the overtime on us, we should have beaten you then, and then we played them there on the road there at their house, and amazingly we were just killing them from the get-go, from the start there. So it's weird. Football is a weird sport, and things happen. Take a look here. I'm going to show you guys some of the stats here. I'm not getting really to these guys' stats here, but just take a look at the Lovelady Lions, which is, of course, ran by my buddy Steve Lovelady, his team, and, of course, the Air Force Falcons ran by Taylor. He's the head coach over there for those two schools. Just take a look at their numbers there. Of course, they are 1-2 for the national championship there, and if they win their, of course, they're going to win their almost a given. They're going to win their championship games. Of course, they'll be playing for the national championship once again. We were in the mix there, or very early. We were ranked number in the top 3 there. I think we're number 2 for a long time there until we lost that game against Oregon. And then we were down all the way down to 17 or 15, something like that. And then just week by week, steadily, gradually went up. And then especially playing that Cal game, they're on the road at Cal. They were number 2 in the nation. We were able to beat them. We were number 5 at the time, and now we're in the top 4 here. So if we were playing in this current era right now of college football, we would be in the playoffs. We would be in that 14 playoff run there to see who's going to play. Of course, we'd be playing against the number 2 team, which would be Taylor, I believe. So it would be number 2 against number 4, and of course number 1 against number 3. If it was the current playoff system that we're all adapted to now. But this is still the BCS era, so it means computer means everything. And a lot of funny things have happened. People have been leapfrogged, people have been snubbed. I know I have in years past in other games where it's just like you're just looking at the screen like, are you serious? Like, no. How the hell did what? So I've had that happen to me before. So far, at least in NCAA 14, I have not had it happen with me, with this team, or with, of course, the Hot and Scotties there. To definitely check out that series over there as we're getting ready for season 5. I cannot promote that any more than I can because I'm really excited about that series. Getting that one back up and running. I did take a bit of a hiatus from it, but we're now getting ready for season 5, and it's gonna be a good one. Cannot wait. Got some really good players coming up, and got a really decent quarterback that I think he's gonna be really impressive and very fun to take over the reins there with them. But anyway, I'm getting off subject here. For us, for the Stanford Cardinals here and Coach TJ Bonds, this is our 2nd season as a head coach. And, last year I was really surprised we were in a decent bowl game. We had, 2 losses last season. This year so far, we only had 1. And so we're getting better. We're starting, we're trying to pull in some of those recruits. The name, Coach Bonds, of course, is out there. And some people know, of course, a lot of people are like, okay, you're not the Coach Teddy Bonds, but you're the son of Coach Teddy Bonds. So he's getting a lot of that, but we're hoping that, with a decent, Big 12, or excuse me, Pac-12 win, and of course a decent bowl game. But it looks like we're going to go for looks like the Rose Bowl game. So we're playing against one of the team there in the Big Ten. Whoever wins the Big Ten championship will, of course, be playing there in Pasadena with us. By the looks of it, by some of the predictions that we've been seeing, we could play in the Rose Bowl game. That'll be the first one that Coach T.H. Bonds has coached. And of course, he's been there before. As a young man, several years ago, played for course, Stanford, and won several Pac-12 championships, and of course went to the Rose Bowl a couple of times, and of course has a national championship ring to say that he has. He knows what it takes to get there, and he's been telling his young men that here in the last couple of weeks, and he's been telling them one game at a time, one team at a time, and just stay focused. Let's not think about anything other but what's in front of us right now. So far, with this really these last 3 games here for the season, and then of course this bye week that we're in right now, he's trying to get them to relax. He's going to start practice up here late in probably here by Wednesday, and he's been working on a couple light practices there. They have been working on some different plays, and we'll see how that will all work out here. But for the most part here, he's just trying to maintain the ship and keep things at a reasonable pace, and not let too much hype or anything like that get to him and of course to his team. With Coach TJ Bonds, and of course I've been around Coach Teddy Bonds for many years, covering his career as a head coach, not just in the NCAA, but also he had a little bit of a stint there in the pros. He's TJ, as much as he wants to deny it, he's so much like his father when it comes to preparing teams. Take a look here at your top 25. Of course, Lovelady Lions at number 1, and of course Air Force at number 2. Indiana 9-2, they're number 3 right there. Wow, I thought I would never ever have to say Indiana in the top 10 there, but that's crazy. There you see the rest of your top 25. There you see some of the teams that have dropped out. Of course, teams that picked up some first place votes. Take a look at the BCS, and there you see Steve's at 1, Taylor's at 2, and I'm at number 3 with the Stanford Cardinals there, as we just got a nice victory. Taylor put a whooping on Marshall, 65-0, and then Steve, of course, beat Wisconsin 45-7 in that game there. So there you see the rest of the BCS numbers, the top 25 teams there. Of course, those are all accumulated by points, and of course, the computer right now says that Taylor and Steve are the top 2 teams to play for the coaches trophy, that being the national championship for college football. So there you see the rest of the top 25. Take a look at the conference stands here as we go in the Pac-12, and there you see we have the tiebreaker. We both have the exactly same identical division, conference, and overall records, but of course when it comes down to a tie, it's going to come down to who won between those 2 teams, and we beat Cal, so we get the tiebreaker. Arizona 8-4, tied with Colorado, but conference wise there you see Arizona has a better conference and division record. And there you see the top schools there in the overall standings in the Pac-12. You see Stanford and Colorado, or Stanford and California there. Arizona right behind them. Of course, the worst team right there is Oregon State, and then of course UNLV. Those two, if they, of course, we do have relegation. I talked about this in a little bit in the last episode there, in that Notre Dame game. We do have relegation, and so UNLV and Oregon State looks like they're going to be the next 2 teams being booted out of the conference. As we take a look at the Heisman Trophy there, at least the finalists for that trophy, but they could be booted out of the conference there, and they'll of course have to go to the Mountain West, and of course the best 2 teams in the Mountain West will of course be brought up next season. So I gotta remind Steve about that. Of course, I think now he's starting to use the relegation, because I think it just makes a fun way of seeing new teams and seeing things change, and just puts a different spin on things, and kind of just gets the game to be more exciting and more fun that way. That's what I've been doing. I'm just going to start doing that here on the Hannah Scotty series here, starting season 5. But take a look here at the bowl projections there. Hopefully your favorite school is on that list. I know Nebraska is taking on Oklahoma in that Buffalo Wild Wings game. I wouldn't mind watching that. Right there. That's a classic rivalry right there. What else? Ohio State taking on South Carolina. That'd be a good game to watch. And there you see us. Looks like it's going to be the Rose Bowl. It's going to be Stanford going against San Jose State. Okay, so Steve must have changed it, because usually it's a Pac-12 versus Big Ten matchup. So he must have changed that this year. But I guess it's an open deal thing where it's a kind of a automatic bid or something like that. But Indiana going to take on Texas in the Fiesta Bowl. Vanderbilt taking on Penn State in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Orange Bowl, Clemson in California. The UC National Championship, of course, Air Force versus Lovelady Lions. And then GoDaddy Bowl, Buffalo versus UL Lafayette. There on that one. Now, take a look here at recruiting. And we got a couple of players that are going to be showing up here. Those three right there, Eric Robinson, Keon Jackson, and DJ Gold, are going to visit here in this bye week. And they're going to come up and check out the campus here. And fortunately, I try my best to try to get them in, but they waited at the last minute to make a look at the campus. Kyle Russell, the top quarterback here in the nation. He's an 80 overall, and we are trying to sign him. And he's been just a difficult signee to get a hold of. But there you see UCLA is the lead right now. Excuse me. But we are trying our best here as we were able to break the lock on that one and try to see if we can try to press him here. And we're going to try to do so in that Pac-12 game. Take a look here at Warren East, 77 overall. He's the fourth best guard in his class. And there you see his run block, pass block, and impact blocking there. Top notch there. We're number 2 on his list as Ace State there. He visited them back in week 4. He visited us back in week 5, but he has not yet signed. So we're just waiting on to see exactly what he is really wanting. Christian Freeman, the 48th best athlete. There you see Steve and I going neck and neck there. For a while there, I had the lead, but Steve somehow, of course, he's been playing really well here as of late and putting up some good numbers there. Jumped me, and so this is our last chance now to try to impress him and try to bring an athlete to campus next fall, as he's a diamond, or I should say a gem of a player with a 76 overall. And of course, try to move some points around here to get him signed to a scholarship there for us next season. Shadrick Holt is another player there who we're trying to go after, and he is another great player that we've been looking at his numbers there. Right now we have the lead on him as he's the 82nd athlete out there this season. He's a JUCO player from Davis, California, down there in Southern California. So we're hoping to try to get him signed and get him going there, as Arizona State is looking at him, and they've been making some pushes there to get him signed. We did add a couple of other players on this list as here in the, for at least for depth for next season there. And like I said, there you see Taylor and Steve. They are not on his list anymore there, as he's booting them out. Benson from Dallas, Oregon. He's a 7th ranked free safety, balanced free safety there, 4-star athlete, 6'2", 177 pounds. And again, another player there that we're going to try to add some depth to, so we can get him in there. And I really am next season trying to set up packages for players and give them some playing time here, as that's going to be very crucial for us, because I feel like this season we could be losing a lot of people on the defensive side of the ball there, and that's something that we're really going to have to work very hard on of improving. Ryan Hall, the 8th ranked strong safety from Lakeland, Florida, 6'1", 186 pounds. Steve's got a lead on him, but Clemson has the bigger lead on him, as he was one of our last minute guys that we threw up on the board there. And we're going to try to do our best to kind of make an attack at him and try to make a run for him on our board. So, like I said, some of these guys are long shots, the ones that we just recently put on the board here, but nonetheless, we're going to try to do our best to get their attention And of course, if we can just play some, if we can have, these next 2 games, the conference championship, and of course the bowl game, if we can do, some impressive things and really show what we can do, and not have any snags in our game, we have a good shot at getting, a couple of these guys in there and to get some of these guys signed. Brian Cooper, the #1 wide receiver, he is signed with Arizona, so we could be seeing him as early as next season, starting for them. CJ Duckett, 77 overall, he's going to be playing in Washington. Of course, Washington used to be part of the Pac-12, but now they're part of the Conference USA, or as Steve calls it, the Canadian USA, because his team is in Canada. And of course, he plays everybody along the border there of the Canadian and U.S. border there. But that is it for this episode here, as we wrap up the this episode with the recruiting there. We're hoping to get some more good signings there, but like I said, the signings here, trying to get players here on this game is pretty realistic. I kind of like it. I kind of missed the calling because that was fun, but we'll see how it goes. Especially with the new college football game coming out here in the next year, or actually 2 years from now. I'm hoping they bring that back in some sort of game. But we'll have to see coming up when that game comes out. Hopefully we'll hear more about that later on this summer. But nonetheless, that is it for this episode of the the Stanford Cardinals online dynasty here on ESGNet LP. Here on NCAA 14. If you guys enjoyed the episode, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new. Hit that bell notification so you guys can be notified of this series or anything else here on the channel. Definitely check us out on the main channel on ESGNet, as we got a great Highland Scotty series there. Definitely go check it out. It's a fun series. I cannot wait to get back into that. Season 5 is coming up here. By now, we should have had a couple episodes up. But it's coming out. It should be out here soon. I hope you guys are enjoying that over there. I'll leave a link somewhere in the eye above. But nonetheless, that is it for this episode of the Stanford Cardinals online dynasty. As always, hit that like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord for the latest news and events on what's going on the channel. Follow us on Patreon if you want to be a Patreon member. And just have a good day. Hope you guys are having a great time. I know I am with this series, and a lot of stuff here on this channel and the main channel. So stay tuned for a lot more coming up. But that is it. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Keep yourselves really healthy. And I will see you guys next time.